that you're joining us today to do some cooking. Today we're going to be making
gingerbread cookies.
And not just any gingerbread cookies. These are going to be ninja bread cookies. So Molly and I were inspired by the book, The Ninja Bread Man, that's all about a cookie that a sensei makes and then tries to sneak up on other animals, right? So we're going to make ninja bread men using our super fun cookie cutters that look like ninjas. So some of them are kicking, some of them are hi-yaing, there's some roundhouse kicks happening. So we're super excited to make these. And I think I actually got these at Aldi. So if you're looking for a place that you could go to get the cookie cutters, that's one place to check first. So today we're going to be using a new recipe to make ninja bread men. And it's just your standard gingerbread cookie recipe. And I'm going to show you what book it's in. A dear friend gave this to me. It's called The Ultimate Southern Living Cookbook. And we're going to be working with page 144 for the gingerbread men. Today, we're actually going to be using half of the recipe because we just need half the recipe for the ninjas. Right, Molly? Okay. So first thing that we need to do is we have to beat our butter up. So we need 1 stick of butter. Can you find those stick of butter, Molly? And if you'll excuse me, I'm going to find our beaters. So our beaters are in this drawer here. It's making Molly suck in. And sometimes our beaters are found in a variety of drawers, but today they're in this drawer. So that's handy. They're where we thought they were. And then we're going to get out our mixer. Today we're going to be using our 3-speed KitchenAid white mixer. So Molly's going to work on our butter. She's working on peeling off the wrapper. You want to make sure you take off the wrapper before you put it into your bowl. So she's going to be working on that. Very nice, Molly. You also want to make sure that your butter is softened to room temperature. So our butter is clearly, I better move this so everybody can see. Our butter is clearly soft now. So you can go ahead and put in the butter. Yes, you can. So we want 1 half cup of butter, just 1 stick. And Molly, we're going to beat that at medium speed. So I don't have a medium speed on this mixer. So we're just going to put it at 2 because I have 1, 2, and 3 speeds. So we're just going to put it on the 2. So Molly's going to go ahead and mix. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. We're going to mix it all really, really well. I'm actually going to go ahead and go up to high because I like my butter nice and creamy. Oh yeah, I think that's really good. Let's show everybody what it looks like, Molly. I think that's really good and creamy. So now that we've mixed up our butter, we're going to go ahead and cream together our brown sugar. Now I used light brown sugar, but probably for ninja bread men, next time we would want to use dark brown sugar. I also made sure I packed it nice and tight. Can you add that for us, please? Give it a little shake in there. Perfect. Now we're going to cream this together. Okay, again, probably about a medium speed would be perfect. Ooh, it's looking nice and creamy, isn't it, Molly? Looking very good. And you know, you can use this recipe for other gingerbread too. It doesn't just have to be ninja bread. This can be for any kind of gingerbread cookie that you're trying to make. Okay, now that we've mixed together our brown sugar you're kind of stuck in there. We're going to also add our egg. So Molly really likes to crack eggs. Could you please crack our egg? Help her? All right, she's done a nice crack. And now I'm just going to empty that into our bowl. And then I'm going to put this into my compost. I really recommend that you start composting if you don't already, because it makes delicious soil, doesn't it, Molly? Now you're not supposed to have, and I'm going to beat this up, you're not supposed to have proteins in your compost pile, but we go ahead and put eggshells in it just for fun, just to give it some good eggshellness in your compost. So now that I've got my egg in here, I'm going to turn this up to high. Nice, good mix. Oh yeah. That's really good and mixed, isn't it, Molly? Should we show everybody again how nice that looks? Oh yeah, it's really good and creamy. So now that we have it all nice and creamy, we're going to add our molasses. So molasses is nice and sticky, and this, everybody recognizes this. See if I can get it out of the light. The grandma's molasses. So let's take a nice big smell of that. Can you smell that? Oh yeah, that smells like gingerbread. So we just need 1/3 of a cup of gingerbread. Of molasses in our gingerbread men. So Molly's gonna hold it up here over the bowl, and I'm just gonna pour that in till it's nice and level. And now she's ready to pour it into our mixture here. And sometimes it's helpful to have an extra spoon or a spatula to just get all the last little bits out of there. We want to make sure we have plenty of molasses in our cookies. Okay, good. That's going to give them a very nice flavor. Now that we've added molasses, we're going to try something that, you know what, I actually haven't tried before, Molly, and that's we're going to add lemon juice. So Molly's going to grab the lemon juice, and then we're going to use just about half of 1/3 of a cup. I know, it's really tricky. Would you like some help? Sure. All right. So, use my muscles there. Can I see your muscles, Molly? No, I don't have any muscles today. Just a weakling. Okay, let's see. We're going to add our lemon juice. And then, now that we've added our lemon juice, we're going to really beat that up again with our mixer. So, we're going to take our mixer, really give that a good beating. Oh, yeah. So, the lemon juice adds some acidity into our cookies. So, we want to make sure we've got that nice acid in there. Like, you know, maybe you could use vinegar if you're looking for, a replacement, a substitute for lemon juice. Okay. Really beat it up good. Oh yeah, that looks fantastic. Okay, let's show everybody now what that looks like. It's really well mixed. So now that we've mixed that up, we are going to, now usually what you want to do is you want to do your dry ingredients in a separate bowl. However, today we're going to show you that if you're short on time and you're short on bowls because you have mixed other cookies today in your other bowls and they're not clean yet, that you can actually use the same bowl and it will probably turn out just fine. So we're going to try that method today. We're going to put in flour. Okay, we're just going to put in a cup of flour. So here I've got my all-purpose white flour, and we're going to get our cup measuring cup. So you see on there it says 1 cup. Okay, and then we are going to put our flour in. And Molly, if you want to hold the cup for me. Now, little tip that I learned in home ec is you want to kind of fluff the flour before you add it to your cup, because this is different than something like brown sugar where you want to pack it down. It's probably a good idea to really move this close to the bowl. There we go. So I'm just going to lightly fluff it, and so we're not packing down our flour. We're going to put it all the way to the top here. Let's see if we can bring it all the way to the top. And then, to get a really good measurement, I'm going to take it again, and using the flat edge of my spoon, I'm going to just make sure that this is good and straight across, good level there. Okay, Molly, can you pour that in for us just on top? We don't want to mix it yet because we're technically supposed to do this in a different bowl, but this is going to be just fine. So now we're going to add our baking powder. We need a whole tablespoon of baking powder. Do you see our baking powder, Molly? You want to show everybody our baking powder? So we're going to get our full tablespoon out, and we're going to add our baking powder. Baking powder is really good to help things to rise when you're cooking. So this will really help our cookies a lot to make sure our gingerbread turns out just the way we want it. Okay, so we're going to put that right in there. And then we're going to add our baking soda. And we actually notice we just need a little bit of baking soda. We're actually just going to use 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. So we'll find our little bitty measurement, a little bitty one. Here it is. And we're just going to do a little bitty bit of, again, make sure it's level when you're measuring it, into our bowl. And then we need to add just a little bit of salt. Now this recipe calls for 1/8 teaspoon, but even though I'm halving the recipe, I am going to go ahead and put in a full 1/8 teaspoon because I used unsalted butter. So it's important to think about that. Another thing that our family likes to do is we like to make sure that we measure the salt over the sink. That way, if you get a little bit too much, it just goes right into the sink and not into your cookies. Okay, so we're going to pour that in, and we're also going to add, let's see, the ginger. It wouldn't be gingerbread without the ginger. So, Molly, ginger starts with a G. Can you find the ginger? And we're just going to add 1 1/4 teaspoons. Great job.
Look at this one first.
You did. And you know what? There is a G. This is actually ground nutmeg. But here is our ginger. And we're going to find our teaspoon measurement. And see that G there? And let's see, Molly, if we can open this up, and hopefully we have enough. We might have to open up our other ginger. We just got through making ginger snaps, which also has a lot of ginger in it. And boy, were they yummy, weren't they? We were a little late picking up Brinley and Hudson because we had make sure we had fresh cookies for them. And we brought some to the teachers in the car rider line. Hopefully they really enjoyed those, because I know our family did. And that is a family recipe, our ginger snaps. You know what, we need a little bit more, so we're going to use our brand new one that we went to the store today and bought. And we're going to get just a little more ginger because we want to definitely make sure we get plenty of that into our cookies. Okay, let's measure that in. And then a little bit more, 1/4 teaspoon in there. Now we want to get a teaspoon of cinnamon. That's going to give it that really rich, delicious flavor that pairs nicely
Which one?
with the ginger. Here we go. This one, Molly. Okay, so can you hold it over here? pour in our cinnamon. Ooh, that's nice. One of the great things about baking with kids is just all the smells and aromas that then helps trigger good memories. You want to give that a little smell? It's also a great learning opportunity. Molly has learned that sometimes ingredients by themselves don't taste very good, but when they're mixed together in your special cookies that you're making, then the cookies smell good. So it's neat to see how all the ingredients can work together to create something new. So now that we've added our cinnamon, we're gonna add our cloves. And we need just a little bit of cloves. They have a really overpowering smell if you stick your nose in there. You wanna smell it? Smells like Christmas and fall, doesn't it?
I didn't even get a smell.
You didn't get a good smell? Okay, let's see if you can get a good one. Good. Whew, that's good. Okay, we're just going to add 1/4 teaspoon of our cloves. So you want to put that one in there for me, please? And then an itty bitty little bit of nutmeg just to give it a little pinch of goodness. So here's our nutmeg. And we actually just need 1/8 teaspoon. All we did was measure salt with that, so it's okay to stick that in there again. We'll put that in there. Ooh, this is going to be so great. Now we just want to start blending this together, and we're just going to do it on low because we don't want our flour to really fly out, do we? We want to make sure that all the ingredients stay in there. So here we go. We're going to do it on low. All those smells are coming together. Does it smell like Christmas, Molly? We know there's more to Christmas than just cookies, but this sure is a fun activity to do with your family. And after we make this gingerbread, Brindley and Hudson will be home. So they'll be all set to help us make icing while this chills.
They're kids too, so.
They're kids too. Yeah, they're a little bit older than Molly, so they've already started elementary school.
Because I'm 4 and Hudson's 7 and Brindley's 9.
That's right. Brindley has a birthday coming up, doesn't she? She does, so she's actually almost 10.
Actually, I was 4.5 because I had half.
That's true. Molly is now 4.5. All right, I'm gonna, to get the batter off of your beaters, you can take it out of the dough and turn it on high while it's still in your bowl. Otherwise, it goes all over your kitchen. All right, now that we've mixed that up, you can see it's a nice light ginger color. Then we are going to add more and more flour until it gets to be kind of a stiff dough. And once it reaches a pretty stiff dough, then we actually are going to put it into the refrigerator. We have to let it chill for a little bit, just like you would with a sugar cookie. This is a little bit different with my sugar cookie dough. I like to roll it out nice and flat before we put it in the fridge. But with this dough, we can actually just put it into ball shapes. And I think that'll work just fine. In fact, we'll probably put it in 3 balls. That way, each kid gets their own ball. That's another great activity to do with all the kids, or if they're gonna fight over, I want more dough. If they each have their own portion, then there won't be a fight about who gets to have more dough or less dough. And then they can also feel really responsible about being able to just have a good feeling about being able to control their amount and how many cookies they want to make and how flat they want to make them, and just try to release that control and give that to them, because then they'll feel so much more proud about the cookies that they've created instead of mom or dad hovering over them and making sure it's the right thickness or the right size. So we are now going to move on and add our flour like I just talked about. So Molly, would you like to scrape down the sides? While you're doing that, I'm going to get some of our yummy spices out of the way here so that we've got room to add our flour. Put our salt away. And we'll get out more flour. So like I said, you'll probably want a total of about 3 to 3.5 cups of flour. We've already added 1 cup. So I'm just gonna add 1 more cup right now and kind of see what my dough looks like. And it doesn't have to be perfectly 3 cups. You kind of have to look and see what your dough ends up looking like and how stiff it is. All right, Molly, you ready to add this in? There we go. And then we're just going to take our spatula and just give it a few stirs here. And then kind of thicken it up a little bit. And one of the reasons that it depends and the recipe doesn't give an exact amount is there's all kinds of factors. Sometimes it depends on the temperature of your house. So if your house is too hot, your dough will behave differently. If it's too cold, it'll behave differently. Isn't that interesting? Even the humidity levels can really make a difference in how your doughs come together. It can even make a difference on how your royal frosting sets up if you're going to choose to do royal frosting with this recipe. Okay, Molly, I think we definitely need another cup. It's still really gooey. You can kind of see the consistency here. It's still gooey and not really coming together like we want it to. So it'll get there, but we'll add another cup. One of the fun things about gingerbread men or gingerbread men is the decorations. So you can decorate them before you put them in the oven or after, or both. What are some of the things you like to decorate your gingerbread man with, Molly?
Candy canes.
Candy canes, that's a fun one. Can you put this in there, please? Sometimes Red Hots are fun, but then you have to also eat the Red Hots. Sometimes Red Hots make good buttons. If you were gonna make like a gingerbread man with buttons, or raisins are sometimes a good one.
For the eyes.
Ooh, that's fun, isn't it? Sometimes that would be fun.
Oh, a candy cane hat.
A candy cane hat. What about M&Ms? Would M&Ms be fun?
And then for the pom-poms on the shoes.
Oh, for pom-poms on the shoes, what a great idea. We actually just bought some sprinkles. Ooh,
I'm okay.
okay, good. There goes our other chef here. We just bought, you want to show these to everybody? I thought these would be fun. Maybe not for the actual man, but if you made like a Christmas tree out of gingerbread, because there's little lights that are candies, that could be fun. Ooh, I think this is coming up really nicely.
And these.
I'm gonna give my hands a quick rinse because,
And these.
yes, there's lots of different types, aren't there?
These.
So even sprinkles can be a great way to decorate your gingerbread man too. Now that I've washed my hands, sometimes what you need to do is put your hands in there to kind of feel the consistency. So this is still a little bit loose, but it's getting thicker. And that's the best part about chilling your gingerbread dough in the refrigerator, is that'll stiffen it up too. But I am gonna add just a little bit more flour. Just a little bit more. Sometimes people like to take out their gingerbread and kind of knead it on the counter. Not like you would a bread, but just to help it to get stiff. And make sure you've got enough flour in there. So you can see it's still, get the light just right, it's still kind of sticking to my hand. But I think that with just the right amount of flour, we'll get there, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So our brother Hudson, Molly's brother Hudson, takes karate. So he is a yellow belt, and
he's in the junior class.
He's in the junior class. So we were thinking that it would be fun to give his instructor some Ninja Bread men. So for all the karate men or women in your life, you might want to consider that as a possibility of, instead of just the ordinary cookies or peach candle, that you could get them Ninja Bread men. And then it's really special too because it's from the heart and it's something that they were thinking of their instructor the entire time that they were making the cookies. So it's a really special gift. Oh yeah, this dough is going to be just perfect. So Molly, I'm going to show them what it looks like. Right now it still looks like it's got flour all over it. You can when we're done with our special video that we're making. I know, sometimes it's so hard because we're so excited to try the dough. Now I don't recommend trying the raw gingerbread because it does have flour in it. And who knows, maybe rats were crawling across the flour in the factory, right? Yucko! So we want to make sure that you don't have any rats in your mouth.
Yeah.
However, sometimes because it's such a special, wonderful experience, sometimes you do sneak a little bit. Rats and all. Would you like to try a little bit, Molly, and let everybody know how it is? Okay, here's a little bitty pinch. Should we try it together? Oh, we can taste the cinnamon in there and the ginger, and we can taste the nutmeg and the cloves. When it all comes together, it's so, so yummy. So I'm gonna just make it like this into one big ball. It is kind of giant. And remember, this is actually just half of a recipe. But then what you want to do is I'm going to then divide it into 3 sections because I have 3 kids. And then we'll put it in the refrigerator to chill. And then this says about an hour. We might just do 20 minutes depending upon when everybody's ready to make it. And then it'll be all ready to cut out and use your special cookie cutters. And while you're doing that, you can read the Ninja Bread Man and just have a really special, fun time. Another really, really fun book to read after you master the Ninja Bread is to read these 2 books. This one is by Jan Brett, and it's called Ninja Bread Friends. And it's a really special book. And even before you read that one, you have to read this one, The Gingerbread Baby, that talks all about how he runs as fast as you can. You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread baby. It's kind of fun.
And he gets captured in a gingerbread house.
He does. In fact, speaking of gingerbread, if you're interested in making a gingerbread house, then I do have one more quick tip, and that is to use the back of these books for ideas. At the back of the Gingerbread Baby, can you show them, Molly? When you look, there's a house, and then it opens. So it gives you ideas of how to decorate your gingerbread house. So this is a great book to read too if you're even interested in making a house for those gingerbread babies or those gingerbread men. Well, Molly and I hope that you have had a wonderful time making gingerbread men dough with us. I know we sure had fun, didn't we? It was a great time. So if you'd like to have this recipe, then you can just call me and we will tell you how to make gingerbread men. Can you blow a kiss, Molly, to the camera? Happy baking!